Yo, welcome back to more Tsukihime. We are into our next far side route, the Hisui route. We just finished our first one, and we've gotten a taste of the far side, I guess. Just the unraveling of mysteries, the shifting focus away from Arcuite and Nero Chaos and that whole thing, onto our characters that we've known, but we haven't really known. So we learned quite a bit about Akiya, Ono family, who apparently in the past intermingled with Oni. You know, and that is why that they have so many crazy effects that they can manifest. But yeah, I want to thank y'all so much for your perspectives on the endings and certain things you told me as well. Like for example, like Akiya's name meaning autumn, and explaining all the autumn CGs and her kimono, I believe in the true ending where it represents abandonment and lost memory, and as far as keeping with the themes of the route itself, like everything with Yumizuka and with Roashiki, and his personal stake in things this time around due to Shiki's focus on Akiya. That was very cool. I definitely enjoyed that one, but another piece of the puzzle fit in. So yeah, apparently also the true ending, because it is left a bit open-ended as far as like Shiki's knife and why Akiya felt it was stronger, the possibility of Shiki being alive out there when she held the knife. Apparently that gets expounded more upon in Kagetsu Toya, so I look forward to playing that and getting that. As for right now, I don't know, maybe the knife is connected to Shiki somehow just by the fact that it is his family's knife, so maybe it just has the special property of being connected to him and she felt that when she picked it up. I don't know, but we will see. So but for now, it is time to move on. I also got tips as far as starting the Hisui route, which is staying in the room the first night so that when Hisui comes to change the sheets, you talk to her, and also, once again, not going to see Nero Chaos, because I do remember that is like the trigger point to avoid the near side, right? Not going to check out you, but woo! So, we're gonna start again. And of course, I'm gonna skip most of the redundant stuff, I guess. I'm gonna be reading it myself personally. Like, I'm not gonna skip it, but you won't see it in the video. What we will do, and what we will do for the rest of the far side, I guess this time and then before Kwaku's route, is we're gonna read the opening together again, because it seems like at the end of the Akiya route, Shiki was like alluding to it. I think toward the end, maybe he was alluding to that same night, but I feel like before he was speaking of the memory of like a dark night in that forest, and the scattering of like limbs around, and like he remembered that. So it's like, oh shit, it was him that remembers that, but he doesn't quite remember it because it's Makihisa did hypnotize him. So it's like, is that another aspect that we still have to learn about? Probably, because we haven't really learned anything about that, but they just alluded to it at the very end, and of course Shiki, with everything going on, wasn't able to really like explore that memory or like question like what the fuck am I remembering? So, all that being said, let's just watch the opening together. Suddenly, I awaken with a start. The night is pitch black, and no one else is in the house. It's scary being alone in the dark. So to find everyone, I head out into the garden. Our mansion's gardens are vast fields of green, surrounded by a thick, dense forest, with the trees blanketing out the light, almost like a massive curtain, like a stage in a theater somewhere. The curtain of trees opens with a swishing sound. Excitement fills me, anticipating the beginning of the grand play. In the distance, I hear the sound of echoes beyond the black curtain of trees. Excitement. Inside the forest, the sounds of everyone happily playing around. Curtain doesn't open yet. Unable to restrain myself, I wander into the darkness of the forest. Darkness surrounds me, a blackness so deep it's suffocating. Not even the calming rays of the moonlight can reach this deep. The air is cold, a winter's chill so deep my eyes feel like they'll freeze. For a brief moment, I thought I heard someone call my name, so I walk even deeper into the forest. After passing through the veil of trees, I find everyone waiting for me in the forest clearing. Like, why was everyone there? Because he remembered everyone dying, but something is wrong. Everyone is lying on the ground. Yep, everyone is lying on the ground in pieces, and that's what he remembered at the end of the Akiya route. The clearing is bathed in red. don't understand. A stranger approaches. The look on his face says he wants to rip me apart. Don't understand at all. But someone else, someone I don't know, steps in front of me and is torn apart in my place. I'm just a kid, so I really don't understand. Splash. Something warm and wet hits my face. It's red. A red liquid, red like a tomato. The person that was torn apart, that person I called Mom, never called my name again. I really don't understand. But it is just so cruel. I wanted to cry, I just felt like crying. Warm crimson blurs my vision, seeping into my eyes. But it doesn't bother me at all. The lonely moon floats above me, bearing witness in the night sky. Strange. Why didn't I realize until now? Such a cold, horrible nightmare. Yes, I didn't realize it. That tonight, the moon is so beautiful. All right, man. I mean, oh, the music didn't return. So basically, it's like, so yeah, like we're going into the clearing, because I remember the moment Shiki remembered that in Akiya route. It was when Shiki, like the blood sword was like stuck in the tree or something, and he looked at it and he like, this is the memory like sprang forward, I guess, maybe seeing the blood sword. But it came to him in that moment. So here, like revisiting again, okay, everyone's torn into pieces. A man looks at Shiki, who I assume is Shiki because he remembers it, looks at Shiki and wants to kill him. The person he calls quote unquote mom, so maybe Mama Tono, because we haven't heard shit about her. Like Makihisa, just him, but there had to have been a mom. But I guess maybe she sacrificed herself for Shiki, and then what happened after? That's the thing too. It's like he looks up at the moon and it's so beautiful, like the blood hits his face, like we know his trauma with blood. But yeah, there's just more pieces. Still more pieces. Like we just have confirmation of what the opening already says, but I guess it confirms that it is Shiki. So but I can maybe even determine that it's just like, Roa, being the one who's doing the killing here. But why? Like, what's the grander context surrounding this, right? So I guess we'll get that either here in the Hisui route or in the Kawaku route. But besides that, I'm sure there's much more to learn, much more to see. So that being said, I'm going to start from the beginning and I will cut to, I guess, whenever I find something interesting and include it in the video or a bit further. So see you there. I wonder how this route is going to deal with the Yumizuka thing, if at all, because it was a very big deal in the last route. Because, I mean, first of all, we got to, like, see truly what happened to her, and then the whole amazing scene with Shiki. But what it led to was Shiki thinking of Akiya, at the moment that she's like, let me make you, like, stay with me, right? Like, it'll help me. But him rejecting her in that moment, thinking of Akiya and choosing to live, right? That was a big fucking deal when it came to the Akiya's route. So I'm wondering if this route will handle it differently or deal with it at all. So I don't know. I'm gonna skip ahead again here, but I just wanted to stop to have that thought. Oh, apparently this is a scene I haven't seen before. Go out to the hallway to think about it. I pulled up because I just don't want to screw things up in starting the route. Like, there's no point in like taking the chance. So I pulled up the first day guide on Zerblade, shout out, to do that choice. So I'm doing it, but apparently I've just never picked it before. I've only picked the other two, so there you go. The hall during lunchtime is packed. Students head to the cafeteria or to their favorite places, lunches in hand. Caught in the flow of people, I contemplate whether I should go to the cafeteria or the store. Taken aback by my own leisure. If I have time to waste here, it'd be better if I go to the cafeteria where Arihiko is. Almost all the seats in the cafeteria. Wait, we just end up going there anyway. I guess we went to think about it, then we went to the cafeteria. Okay, here we go. Akiya isn't the only person I haven't seen since then. I can't remember all the details because it's been 8 years, but there were other children at the mansion around the same age as me. Apparently I've read this before, but it'll be good to now that we're actually doing one of their routes. So I don't remember their names, but there were two girls who were twins. Father has once said that they didn't have any relatives, so he took them to work as servants. That's weird. We played together so often when we were small, but I can't remember their names. I close my eyes and cast my mind back. Should be able to remember. It was a girl who was always cheerful, so cheerful that you would become cheerful just by looking at her. That is oozing Kohaku energy. A girl with a carefree personality who was loved by everyone at the mansion. Because she was close to my age, I got along very well with her, and it seemed like every day we would run around the garden together. Let's play together, Shiki-chan, she would say, and I could remember her taking me out of my room after I secluded myself inside. She would often laugh and take a shy Akiya's hand, trying to make her play with us. Maybe she was older than the both of us. She would guide me and Akiya to play together, but once we started playing, she would just watch over us. That's such an important thing, because it's like Akiya was inspired to play with Shiki, but it seems Kohaku was the one who sparked it all, because he would just stay in his room and she would encourage him and bring in Akiya too, and then Shiki and Akiya would play together, but then she would just be there, but she was like the spark for that. Even Akiya's tutor, the harsh butler, would say, I don't mind as long as Bert is with you guys, and let Akiya out to play as if there was no helping it. In contrast to that girl was the other one. On the second floor, while we played in the garden, there was always a girl looking down at us every time I turned to look at the mansion. She was the twin of that cheerful girl, but she would always gaze at us expressionlessly. That girl would never try to leave the house. All she would do was watch us with those cold eyes. Aw, Hisui. Well, in the end, I only ended up talking a little with her. I wonder if those girls are still at the mansion. While I think about that, I take a white ribbon out of my bag. The ribbon. An old white ribbon that the girls gave me at the very end. 8 years ago, after I was involved in the accident, the day I was entrusted to the Arima family, right before I was to leave the mansion, the girl gave me this for some reason. I'm just lending it to you, so be sure to return it. Saying something along those lines, she ran off. Be sure to return it. Considering the ellipses, maybe Hisui, but afterwards I was quickly found by one of the servants and taken to the front entrance. With no one to see me off, I walked out of the gates of that giant mansion while the Arima lady held my hand. It was my last memory of when I left the Tono mansion 8 years ago. I put the ribbon back in my bag, but it's been 8 years after all. Not only do I not know if they are still at the mansion, I can't even remember their names. To make things worse, I can't even remember which girl gave me the ribbon. That's the question. Still, it's not like it was some important promise or anything. Yet. But I want to keep the promise, as long as I still remember it. I agreed to return to the mansion because Akiya is now there all by herself. I left her there for 8 years, pushing all responsibility onto her while I selfishly lived freely. I'm going back because I feel guilty for what I did to her. I didn't exactly plan to use this as an opportunity to do so, but if that girl is still at the mansion, I want to properly fulfill the promise from 8 years ago. Okay. Guess keep going. We have been waiting for you. I guess I'll pick up here. The door opens with a creak. Inside is the lobby I remembered and a young girl in an apron. Thank goodness. You're so late, I was beginning to worry that you had gotten lost. I was thinking about going out to meet you if you hadn't arrived by sunset. The girl in the anachronistic apron smiles warmly. I always remember the use of that word in the very beginning, anachronistic. No, that's, I'm so taken aback by her outdated mode of dress that I can't even form a proper sentence. Perhaps attributing my hesitance to distrust, the girl tilts her head a little. You're Shiki-sama, aren't you? Yeah, but you don't have to call me Sama. You are, right? Oh, please, don't scare me like that. I was beginning to think I had made another mistake back there. Another mistake. She gives a good-natured laugh. It matches up. I have no basis for this, but she fits the image perfectly. Could it be that you're the girl who played together with us when we were small? I inquired tentatively. She gives a full smile, looking truly happy. Come, you must be tired, right? Please do come in. Akiya-sama is waiting for you in the sitting room. Oh boy. The girl quickly crosses the lobby and heads toward the sitting room. Turning back as if she just remembered something, she makes a bow, a full smile on her face. Welcome home, Shiki-sama. Her greeting is accompanied by her flower-like smile. I can't think of any reply, so I just follow her hesitantly. She is very lovely. I can't wait to do her route. Guided by the girl, I head to the sitting room. It's as if I'm seeing it for the first time. I don't know if I've forgotten about it in the last 8 years or if they had it refurbished since then. Either way, it feels like someone else's house now, and it's unsettling. Yep, we know why. As I'm looking around the sitting room, the maid in the apron lowers her head in a quick bow. I brought Shiki-sama with me. Well done. You may return to the kitchen, Koaku. Thank you. It seems that maid's name is Koaku. Koaku-san gives a small bow, as if to say farewell, and leaves the sitting room. This leaves me and 2 girls I don't recognize. Ah, yes. It has been a long time, Nissan, says the girl with the long black hair and sharp eyes. All my thought processes stop at once. My mind goes blank and I can't think of any words of greeting. All I can do is nod with a, yeah. I don't think it can be helped. This Akiya that I had not seen in 8 years is not the Akiya I remember. She's completely transformed into a proper young lady of a noble family. Nissan? The black-haired girl tilts her head slightly. Pathetically, all I can say are dumb-sounding things. My mind is turning in somersaults as I try to recognize the girl before me as Akiya, but it seems like Akiya already recognizes me as her brother. You do not look well. Would you like to rest before we talk? Akiya throws a sharp glance in my direction. Is it just my imagination that she looks like she's in a bad mood? No, I'm alright. I was just surprised at how much you've changed, Akiya. She's actually very happy you're here, dude. People do change over the course of 8 years, Nissan. We are at an age of change, or did you think we'd remain like back then forever? What is this? I can feel the thorns in Akiya's words. You've definitely changed, Akiya. You've become more beautiful than before. It isn't flattery. It's how I really feel. And indeed, but you, on the other hand, have not changed much at all. Akiya answers coldly, her eyes closed. Well, I came prepared for something like this. It is as I had thought. It seems Akiya does not think well of me. You are feeling well. Let us finish our conversation. You have yet to hear the details about why you were called back here, Nissan. I've heard nothing more than a sudden come back to the mansion. Though I found out in the papers that the old man passed away. If the head of a major company dies, it definitely makes it in the financial papers. Dude, he was such a scoundrel, dude. He killed the entire Nanaya family just to cover his tracks. What a dick, dude. Word of Tono Makihisa's death reached his son Tono Shiki via the newspaper after the funeral. Even though his relatives hadn't told him, this disinherited son could pick up news of his father's death merely by buying a 100-yen newspaper. It might be cynical of me to say so, but the world has certainly become a convenient place. I am sorry. It was my fault that you did not get the news about father. Akiya quietly lowers her head. It's alright. Either way, it's not like he would come back from the dead if I went. It's not something you should be worried about. I am sorry. It is somewhat comforting to hear you say that. Akiya's face is serious, but this is not a topic I care much about. A funeral is a ceremony for those who cannot detach their feelings for the deceased to achieve such detachment. I wouldn't say that. For someone like me who cut off such feelings a long time ago, there is no need. Calling you back here was my idea. It would be odd for the eldest son of the Tonos to be entrusted to the Arimas forever. Now that father has passed away, the only Tonos by blood are you and I, Nissan. I don't know what father was thinking when he entrusted you to the Arimas, but he's no longer with us, so there's no longer any need for you to live with them. That is why I had you come back here. It's all well and good, but I'm quite surprised you were able to get our relatives to agree to this. Wasn't it they who came up with the idea of leaving me with the Arimas in the first place? That may be so, but now I am the head of the Tono family. I declined every one of the proposals from our relatives. I would like you to continue living here, Nissan, but this is a place with rules. You will avoid living the overly casual lifestyle you've been leading up until now. I'm afraid that isn't going to happen, Akiya. There's no way I can go back to being some well-mannered gentleman now. Not that I want to. I will not ask more of you, but do try to. Or are you saying you are unable to do what I already have? Akiya shoots me a cold look. It feels like she's hitting me with her grudge against me for leaving her here for the last 80 years. Alright, I get it. I'll try my best. Akiya just stares at me as if she doesn't quite believe me. You do not need to try as long as you get the results. Her pose is dignified, her words merciless. Let's get back to the topic. Right now, you and I are the only ones living here, and do not care to have too many people around, so I cleared everyone out. Eh? Hold on a second, Akiya. You cleared everyone out? You wouldn't want to run into one of our relatives in the mansion, would you, Nissan? I have put off most of the servants, but there are enough for you and I, so there are no problems. Wait, no problems? You're going to get attacked at our family meeting if you do something like that. Oh, please be quiet. Rather than have the mansion overflowing with people, wouldn't you feel more relaxed with just the two of us here? It's true that I would feel relaxed, but you've only just become head of the family, Akiya. If you go around abusing your power like some kind of dictator, our relatives are not going to keep quiet, even though old Van didn't go against their opinions. Indeed. That's why Father entrusted you to the Arimas. I, on the other hand, have despised them ever since I was a child. I am not going to put up with their whining any longer. Not going to put up with... Look, Akiya. Enough. Just listen. You don't have to worry about me. Please just worry about your own life from now on, Nissan. I can see it's going to be difficult for you in many ways. Akiya says sullenly, looking away a little. Oh, that hurts now. Now then, if there's anything you don't understand, ask her, Hisui. Woman of the hour. She looks at the girl standing by her side. The girl called Hisui bows expressionlessly. This is Hisui. She will be your personal maid from now on. Is that acceptable? Eh? Personal maid? You mean... In other words, she's your servant. Akiya declares as if it were obvious. I can't believe it. Fitting with the Western style of the house, the girl in the maid outfit stands there as if it is natural to do so. Hold on. I'm not a kid, you know. I don't need a servant. I can take care of myself. Would that include the cooking and the laundry? Akiya's pretty sharp at pointing these things out. He's like, well, I guess I can't do that. Come on, man, you gotta learn some things. At any rate, now that you've returned to this house, you will obey my directions. I don't know how you lived at the Arima house, but you're living at the Tono house now. Please accept everything given to you. I can't say anything and my eyes drift towards Hisui. As expected, she simply looks back at me expressionlessly like a doll. Well then, Hisui, please show Nissan to his room. Yes, my lady. Hisui approaches me with a shadow-like lack of presence. I will guide you to your room, Shiki-sama. Hisui heads towards the lobby. Sighing, I head off towards the lobby too. We enter the lobby. This mansion is split into east and west wings with the lobby in the middle. The lobby is like the body of a bird whose wings are the halls extending diagonally to the east and west. Each wing is about the size of a small hospital. I remember the house is constructed symmetrically, so both the east and west wings have the same floor plan. Your room is this way, Shiki-sama. Hisui climbs up a flight of stairs. It seems like my room is on the second floor. Come to think of it, the servants' rooms should be on the first floor of the west wing, so that's probably where Hisui and Kohaku-san's rooms are. Outside, the sun is already set. The girl in the maid uniform walks down the long, dimly lit hallway without a word. It kind of feels like a wonderland. Without thinking, I let my thoughts slip out. Did you say something, Shiki-sama? Hisui stops and looks back at me. No, I'm just talking to myself. Don't worry about it. After staring at me, Hisui bows and starts walking again. Is this my room? Yes. If you are displeased with it, I can arrange a different one for you. No, there's no way I could be displeased with it. It's just a little, no, really too fancy for me. Shiki-sama? It's fine. I'll gladly use this room. Understood. This room has not been touched since 8 years ago, so I do not believe you will find anything unsatisfactory with it. Something a little odd about the way Hisui said that. It's as if she was implying this was once my room. Hey, is this by any chance my old room? That is what I have been told. Am I mistaken? Hisui inclines her head to the side slightly. I feel relieved. It seems this girl can express emotion after all. Well, it might be now that you mention it. I do remember it faintly, so it must be so. I can't feel any sense of familiarity about this place at all, but I guess that's what it's like after you leave a place for 8 years. I can't get settled here, though. I was living in a 6.5 mat sized room until this morning. It's like I'm staying in some high-class hotel. Flashbacks to hotel and near-side route. Ooh. I understand how you feel, but please try to get used to it. From today onwards, you are the eldest son of the Tono house, Shiki-sama. You're right. I've got to do my best so I at least look like it on the outside. With a thump, I drop my bag on the table and stretch my back. I've been feeling a little stressed out with everything that's happened so far, but I guess I've got no choice but to adjust from today onwards. Shiki-sama, all of your luggage has been brought here. Is there anything more you require? No, not really. Why do you ask? There was very little delivered. If there is anything you need, I can have it prepared, so please do not hesitate to ask. I see. No, I don't need anything more for now. I didn't have much luggage to begin with. My luggage is just this bag, these glasses, and the textbooks in my bag, and that white ribbon with an unidentifiable owner. That's all. And I completely forgot about the ribbon in the Akiya route. I guess for good reason. Ah, that's right. I haven't asked her the important thing yet. Can I ask you something, Hisui? Yes. What is it, Shiki-sama? I'm sorry if I'm mistaken about this, but you and Kawaku-san are sisters, right? For an instant, surprise flashes in Hisui's expressionless eyes. Yes. Kawaku is my older sister. Really? Great. Then that means you two must be the girls who once lived here. I'm so happy that I inadvertently raised my voice. In direct contrast to my joy, Hisui does not move. Hisui? You and Kawaku-san were the children taken in here, aren't you? We used to play together. I wonder if you remember. I close my mouth as soon as I speak. No. The girl I had played together with was the bright and cheerful one. The one who just gazed at us with those cold eyes has to be. I played together with your sister quite often. Hisui? Oh, excuse me, that was us. I played together with your sister quite often. Hisui, I thought she was like revealing something there, like I played with Akiya. Yes, I know. 2 years before you went to the Arima household, Makihisa-sama took in Nesan and I. Hisui speaks as if disinterested. It's good that I know Hisui and Kawaku-san are the twins from my memories, but it seems Hisui doesn't think much of it. And that's very concerning, considering how Makihisa took in Shiki, obviously for his own like selfish reason, but at the same time obliterated his original family. I'm probably right to suspect that there are similar brutal circumstances to Hisui and Kawaku being taken in at such a young age. I don't know. I see. I didn't talk to you much. I'm sorry for getting so worked up. You have nothing to apologize for, Shiki-sama. I must also apologize for my rudeness to you when I was younger. Hisui lowers her head. I feel really uneasy. I know Hisui doesn't mean to make me feel bad, but I don't know how to respond when a girl the same age as me says that to me. Do you have any other requests, Shiki-sama? No, nothing in particular. Very well. I shall come to call you in an hour's time. Please relax until then. As I expected, Hisui says everything with an expressionless face. And 1 hour later, she must mean dinner. But even if she tells me to relax, how would I do that here? The clock says it's around 6 o'clock. Usually, I'd be watching TV in the sitting room around this time, but I'm having serious doubts as to whether there's any such thing in this mansion. Hisui, I know it's kind of a trivial thing to ask about, but is there a television in this mansion? A television? Hisui's eyes narrow slightly. I know I'm the one who asked, but it really is a stupid question. I feel there's something wrong with asking about the presence of a TV in a luxurious mansion like this. Hisui makes a rare troubled face and stares off into space. There is no television in the sitting room. Some of the visitors did make use of one, but when they departed, they packed it up with their luggage and took it back with them, so I do not believe there are any remaining. A rare troubled face. Hold on. Visitors? Like who? For how long? Relatives. The eldest son of Kugamine-sama from a branch of the family, Tozaki-sama's third daughter and her fiancé, and Kishima-sama's eldest son came to stay for close to 3 years. That's interesting too. 3 years, huh? Hisui, that's what you'd call freeloaders, not visitors. Hisui does not reply. No matter what kind of people these freeloaders were, it seems that servants can't say anything bad about them. I mean, it's family, but... Well, at any rate, it seems like those relatives had brought and taken back their own luggage with them. My old man hated the products of modern culture, thinking them all vulgar. There was no way he would ever watch a TV. Akiya, Akiya, who had been educated by him for the last 8 years, would probably be the same. Who said Okiya? Well, it's not like I'll die without one. Hisui is silent. Like a perfect example for servants, Hisui says nothing unless she is being asked a direct question. This is, of course, kind of depressing for me. I want to make that expressionless face break into a smile somehow, but that seems impossible with just any old half-hearted effort. That's why this route exists. Yay! Oh, there was a library on the first floor of the West Wing, wasn't there? I swear if like in the Akiya route they quiz me where the fucking library is. Okay. First floor, West Wing. Maybe I'll go find something to read when I have some free time. Hisui does not reply. She just stands there in the doorway. I can't even tell where she's looking. Hisui? Hisui doesn't say a word. Suddenly she looks straight at me. I believe there's one in Ne-san's room. Huh? I have no idea what she's talking about. There's one of what? A television. I remember seeing one in Ne-san's room. Hisui says as if remembering something from many years ago. I see. Kawaku-san does look like the type of person who'd watch those variety shows. But I balk at going to Kawaku-san's room to tell her, let me watch your TV. Sorry, just forget I ever asked. After all, I'll be living here from now on, so I've got to follow the rules of the mansion. God knows what sort of cynical comment I'd be in for from Akiya if I started watching television. It seems I'll be leading a scholarly student life fit for a member of the Tono family from now on. Alright. I'll be in my room until dinner, so just come and call me when it's time. You've got other things to do, don't you, Hisui? Hisui nods in assent and turns around. Silently opening the door, she leaves the room. I will not skip. Dinner takes place with Akiya and I being face to face. I guess it's natural here as Hisui and Kawaku-san do not eat with us, standing behind us to tend to our needs. I thought it would be natural if all four of us ate together, so you could say I'm caught off guard by this inexplicably tense dinner. I should mention at this point that I've totally forgotten anything related to table manners by now. Well, I do remember little pieces, so it's not like I'm a complete amateur, but humans tend to pack away unused memories into the corners of the mind. The tension was actually quite thrilling, with every one of my movements causing Akiya to raise an eyebrow. When I think about how I'll have to go through this every day, though, it's really depressing. And again, the thing about the routes, like, it's like accentuated in the far side routes, because we have all three girls here that we have the potential for routes for. But of course we can only do one, so the other two are left in the dust, left wondering. And like, in choosing Akiya, there's a lot to learn, there's a lot of very wholesomeness and just great things, but it's just Hisui and Kawaku are just, you know, there, left to their own devices, their own suffering, whatever they're going through, and that's just true. For just visual novels in general. I mean, we talked about this before, but it's like always bittersweet in that way. But I can't wait to learn more about Hisui. Finishing dinner, I returned to my room. It's still only just past 8 at night. It's too early to sleep, so what should I do? I know this. Stay in my own room. Well, not skip, as this leads to Hisuiness. Stressed from dinner, I loosen my shoulders. I stretch out as far as I can and then collapse onto the bed. And even dinner is hard work. Well, it's not like the knife and fork are really heavy. I just had a thought. Actually, the Yumizuka thing would have to happen again because that's how we're exposed to the whole vampire thing. Because otherwise it would be through Arcueid. But that doesn't... I assume that's not going to happen. Well, I can't assume that. But I would imagine it wouldn't happen again the same way in Arc and Ciel's route. Neo Chaos thing happens again. The same thing happens with Arc again, but then it diverges at a further point. It's probably the same with the Far Side. So yeah, that would make sense. But how that ties into Hisui, I guess we will see. But Shiki will probably make the same decision, even if it plays out the same way, of course, because that's the only way he lives. It's not like the knife and fork are really heavy. It's just that Akiya's gaze is really severe. Or it could be that maybe vampires don't even play a factor at all in the Hisui and Kohaku route. They're like, we're not even going to explore vampires this time. You're just going to deal with this personally. But I doubt that, because Roa is still going to be a problem. But then maybe not, because in Akiya's route, he takes a personal interest in Akiya. So now that we're not focused on Akiya, is he just not going to take a personal interest this time, and we're just not going to encounter him at all? Maybe. Look. Are you there, Shiki-sama? I can hear Hisui's voice along with the knock at the door. Yeah, I'm here. Come in. Excuse me. Hisui enters with a bow. I have come to make the bed. You may not enjoy watching it, so would you mind relaxing in the sitting room for a while? No, I don't mind watching. I'll just behave myself in the corner, so just go ahead and do your job without minding me. Bouncing up from the bed, I move into a corner. Hisui looks like she wants to say something, but thinks better of it and silently begins to make the bed. We will make her, not make her, that sounds bad, but like, I want her to express herself. I didn't want to say we're gonna make her express herself because that sounds bad. But we're gonna make her comfortable, we're gonna make her smile. We're gonna find out what's going on with you, Hisui. There, I saved it. Hisui looks like she wants to say something, but thinks better of it and silently begins to make the bed. Hisui. Yes? What is it, Shiki-sama? But you can keep making the bed. There's no need for you to stand up so straight. Hisui doesn't answer. It seems like she's had a servant's education drummed into her. Please, please, just talk to me while you work. I'm beginning to feel bad because it seems like I'm interfering with your work. If you say so, Shiki-sama, then I will comply. Hisui silently returns to making the bed. Is it true that the curfew here is 7? Hey, that's CG. We got a thumbnail. Eh? Oh, yes. The main gate is locked at 7, and all the entrances to the mansion are to be locked at 8. There's also a rule that one must try not to go walking around in the mansion after 10, and we know why. Not even walking around in the mansion. Well, I've got no complaint with that, but isn't that kind of harsh? Aki and I aren't children, so I don't think you have to go that far. Indeed. It is a rule, however, so please abide by it. You are aware of the recent disturbances at night, are you not, Shiki-sama? Yeah, that vampire thing Adahiko was talking about. As long as something like that is happening, I guess it's better to be safe than sorry. That's right, because they had the talk in the cafeteria, which I skipped over. I read through and they went through the whole thing because Ciel was there as well. So yeah. But Shiki doesn't like a no, because again, in every route he has to like get educated all over again when it comes to vampires, so. We'll see how it plays out. I guess it's better to be safe than sorry. Do you have any other questions? Hisui finishes spreading the sheets and turns around to face me. Let's see. I have all sorts of questions, but I know nothing about Hisui and Kohaku-san. Do you mind if I ask an off-topic question? Yes, what is it? I'd like to know what kind of work you and Kohaku-san do around here. I am here to serve your needs, and my sister Kohaku is to serve the lady Akiya-sama. In our spare time, we do the maintenance chores around the mansion. Is there anything more you would like to know? To serve, so that's what it is after all. My shoulders suddenly feel heavier. It seemed completely natural to Akiya when she said it, but I'm nothing more than a normal high school student. I have no interest in having a girl close to my age serving me, at least for now. That part always makes me laugh. By serving me, you mean you're a personal servant? Yes. Please do not hesitate to ask anything of me. Well, I get it. Going by how Akiya was talking about you, it doesn't seem like I can dismiss you, so I'll just obediently let you serve me. Is there anything in particular you would like? Nothing in particular, but could you stop calling me Shiki-sama? To be honest, I get chills down my back when I hear it. But Shiki-sama, you are my master. That's what I'm saying I hate. I've been living a normal life up until yesterday. I have no desire to start living a life where a girl my age addresses me with Sama. I see. Hisui's response was less than enthusiastic. Just call me Shiki, and in exchange, I'll call you Hisui. Let's do away with the formalities and be more casual with each other. So expressionless, Hisui lowers her eyebrows as if she's being troubled. She's not used to that. But you are my employer. It's not like I'm hiring you. You're the one doing the things I can't, so you're the great one. I see. Hisui gives another unenthusiastic reply. It looks like I won't be able to talk her into it in just one day. Anyhow, that's how it is. Don't be so formal towards me. I'll be grateful if you tell that to your sister, Kwaku-san, too. Very well, as you say, Shiki-sama. Expressionless, Hisui bows her head. She completely failed to understand. I will be leaving now. Please rest. Oh, I will be leaving now. Please rest now for tonight. So, like, why would Shiki be leaving? I'm out. Bowing, Hisui puts her hand on the doorknob. Oh, I forgot to ask. Oh, this is when it happens. Forgot to ask something. Hold on for a second. Running towards the door, I put my hand on Hisui's shoulder before she leaves. In an instant, Hisui's arm pushes away my arm with incredible momentum. This instant transmission, DBZ style. I guess it wouldn't be instant transmission, it's just normal DBZ shit. Anyway, with a whack, she slaps my hand away and leaps back. Eh? So sudden, that's the only thing I can say. And this is so sad, man, because clearly, like, the way Shiki observed, like, she's clearly had, like, the servant mentality drummed into her. Like, she's completely triggered by being touched, which is a very real thing. Like, it's... Oh my god, it's gonna be horrifying what we learn about her. I can already tell. So sudden, that's the only thing I can say. Hisui is expressionless, but she glares at me fiercely. And did I just do something wrong? I'm very sorry. Hisui's voice sounds very nervous. I'm not used to being touched. Please forgive me. Hisui's shoulders are faintly trembling. I feel like I just did something really terrible. Yeah, I'm sorry. I apologize without thinking. I don't understand why myself. I just feel sorry for Hisui, and I lower my head. Hisui says nothing. I get the feeling her stare is calm again. You have nothing to apologize for, Shiki-sama. I am the one to blame. No, well, maybe, but I just... Of course she's not the one to blame. I scratch my head. Hisui stares at me, pausing only to blink for a second. What was it you wanted to ask me, Shiki-sama? That's right. I stopped Hisui because I wanted to ask her something. Oh, I wanted to ask about Akiya. Doesn't she go to a boarding school? That was only during middle school, Shiki-sama. From this year onwards, Akiya-sama has special permission to attend school from home. Eh? You mean she goes to school from here? Yes, but it is uncommon for her to come home before dusk like today. Akiya-sama has practice up until dinner, so she is always home before 7. And that's great. Uncommon for her to come home before dusk like today, like she wanted to come home for Shiki, of course. And from this year onwards, to attend school from home. Practice? Practice what? Today is Thursday, so she would have had violin practice. Dude, oh my god, I got linked the most beautiful art in the patron Tsukihime chat in my Discord. It's of Akiya on like her balcony just playing her violin in the nighttime. It was it was so pretty. Today, okay. Eh? Usually she is able to return before dinner on weekdays, so if you have anything to say to Akiya-sama, please let Ne-san know after dinner. Hisui bows to say goodbye and leaves the room. Violin practice? What on earth is that? She's not some upper-class lady or anything, so why should she have to do something as bothersome as... Oh wait, she is an upper-class lady. Yes. Come to think of it, my sister Tono Akiya is a natural-born upper-class lady. In my memories, she was always the obedient, ever uneasy sister constantly following me around. As a child, she was always quiet, never having even the courage to express her own desires. She was a frail girl who would always live in fear of a scolding from our father. Yeah, people really do change after 8 years. After 8 years, I've become the me I am now. Akiya has become the person she is right now, too. 8 years is a long time. It's half of our lives up until now. I was absent from this mansion during that vital period where a child becomes an adult. I'm sorry, Akiya. I think things would have been better if I had been with her during those 8 years. I unknowingly mumble an apology. And it's so fucked because it's like, she knows, like Akiya knows that she felt that weight. And she knew that it meant that, like, it represented Shiki. And as long as she felt that weight within her, you know, that shared life force thing, she was like, then she could get by. And it's so fucking sad just how, like, how much it hurts her too. It's like, oh man. Her endings were really just complete bittersweetness. Left by myself, I lie on my bed. This house from 8 years ago, my blood relative from 8 years ago, it feels a little like they belong to someone else. I wonder what's going to happen to me now. Grumbling to no one in particular, I fall asleep. Here it comes. Awoo. I hear the wave-like sound of something's voice. Awoo. Ooh. Something is howling. It's too sharp and high-pitched to be a straight up. Awoo. It echoes in my eardrums. Is it howling at the moon? Awoo. This doesn't feel right. You're telling me. The beastly howling is beginning to give me a headache. Awoo. Doesn't stop. Awoo. 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 Ah, just shut up already. I wake up. I can hear the sound of a dog barking outside the window. The clock indicates it is just past 11. This is more than just a neighborhood nuisance. Damn, I can't sleep like this. The dog's howling comes from somewhere near the mansion's fence. Doesn't seem like I can go back to sleep at this rate. And once again, we go to sleep. That is where we'll begin next time.